Hi, my name is Sean Hill. I'm a second year, and this is my outpatient practicum for geriatrics. This took place in St. Pete at a Publix store 1456 under Dr. Kimberly West. So the first question is, describe 3 aspects of community pharmacy that you were not aware of prior to this rotation, and how learning about them changed your view of community pharmacy. So the first aspect is, I would say, location of the pharmacy. So prior to this, I've had experience at a Walgreens pharmacy, and this was located in Largo. And it was in an environment where the motel right next door used to got in trouble for illegal activities, selling drugs, other fun adventures, and, and another, and so at Publix, the location is in St. Pete as well, but it's also next to a lot of other developing areas, or developed areas. There was a lot of buildings, cars all down the street, and so you'll see a vast different amount of people coming in, and so that really changed my view of like, oh wow, so it's not just these types of people. And I'm not saying these in a negative connotation, it's just that is a small group of people that you keep seeing in and out because it's such a small pharmacy, and we weren't doing the same numbers, so you'd see the same customers multiple times and you memorize their names. So that's the location is one. Number 2 would be the layout. So the layout of Publix comparative to Walgreens is so vast. Publix has a really high, like, what do you call it? Well, here's the thing with Publix is a lot of them, they vary more than Walgreens is. Walgreens are more standardized. Like, you could work at a Walgreens and every pharmacy looks the same. It's like, oh, you can do this job anyways. Oh, I know where that is. That goes right there. And sometimes there's a little bit of variation. But Publix is apparently, from Dr. West, she said that each Publix could be completely different. You'll never, like, certain Publixes are older, certain Publixes are newer, and it's like they just constantly improve, and they take with that the improvement onto the next Publix, which I think is a really unique idea. Now, that's that one. And so the third one would be, I think it's the atmosphere, like having different, each time you go to a pharmacy, the atmosphere in the room is always different. You'll have different personalities, different people. It's always so different. You'll never know who you meet. You could go one day, because something at Walgreens that I really enjoyed, and at Publix, is just meeting new people with different ideas, different backgrounds. And when we had floater pharmacists at Walgreens, I've worked with probably 15 to 20 floater pharmacists, and I would just talk with them. Some of them are recent graduates, some of them have been in the field for 30 years, some of them left the field, came back, some just, and they all have varying perspectives on the field, and they all complained here and there, but they still worked it, and they were all relatively good at their job. But every pharmacist reached a certain level of, there was bad pharmacists, but there was never any bad pharmacists. There was a certain level that was held, and it was never crossed, and it was professional still. Now, how has your assessment and confidence improved since midpoint? Well, it's kind of remained the same because I've already been at a pharmacy, and so to be honest, the transition to Walgreens to Publix was kind of took me 2 days, 3 days. I was like, oh, I'm pretty much doing everything. I'm not gonna say it was easy because I already knew what to do. I've done these things exactly before, calling patients, taking in transfers. That's nothing new to me. So it didn't really change much. However, there were certain barriers I had to like, it takes time for it to get the process done because each system has its own, cues, but they're relatively similar. That was a little bit annoying. But Publix is compared to Walgreens. Yeah, it's relatively the same actually. Okay, and three of your strengths and three. This is the third question. Identify three of your strengths and three areas of improvement in community pharmacy. So three of my strengths of community, I'd say, is my ability to connect with a lot of people. I think a good retail pharmacist is able to come down to a certain level. They have to understand that where the patient is at in their state of mind. Understand just where their background in some sort of sense, and kind of treat people with respect. I think another strength is my ability to remain calm in stressful situations. I think during those stressful moments is what defines a person, and who you are really comes out. And I think retail kind of builds you like that, because you are going to be put in these tough situations in retail where you and your pharmacist are. It's 7 p.m. You're, especially at Walgreens, where they understaff you. It's 7 p.m. You and your retail pharmacist. She's 40 scripts behind, and you close at 8. And when you're there, you're kind of just doing things, and next thing you know, you close and you still have 40 scripts to fill. And I'm always the type of person. Well, no, this is my last strength. I'm always the type of person to finish what I start, and my pharmacist would say, Sean, you could go home. It's 8 o'clock, but I'd stay until 10 o'clock just helping filling scripts because I know that they want to go home too, and leaving. And so because I understand that because the pharmacist works 12 hours and I work 8 hours in retail, and that's the one bad thing about retail. You work so many long hours and you still have to finish. You can't leave your mess unless you clean up. Whoever is there tomorrow will clean it up unless it's you. So you could leave your mess, but why would you want to do that in the morning, right? And so that's one of those things where you have to be. I'm willing to learn and continue in that area of improvement. At this point in your career, what are your pharmacy career plans, and how has IPPI influenced these plans? So, well, my career plans are up in the air. I think I know, and then all of a sudden I get hit with a bunch of new information, and then I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. And then, wow, that sounds really cool. And I'm continuing to discover what I like. And IPPI has made these things a lot harder because it makes me question, because I really like community, but I also like the hospital, and these days it's getting even more confused. But yeah, and that's my outpatient practicum. Thanks.